Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, it's early in the morning. The dew's still on. I'm getting chores done. We've got a church dinner after Sunday services in the morning, our church Thanksgiving dinner. So I have a lot to do today. So I've got to get out early and get my chores done. I've got some things to do out here. I'm out in one of the pastures that in our new strawberry field, and we'll be bringing you some videos before too long. We've got strawberries in, and it's just we've been getting real heavy dews, and we've gotten a little bit of rain, not a whole lot, a little bit of rain in it, so it's kind of a little bit of a muddy mess right now. But I will get the strawberry beds shown to you, and hopefully before they get covered with, we bought frost cloth that'll have to get them covered if the temperature should drop below a certain degree. But right now we're doing pretty good. In fact, I know that a lot of areas are getting cold and snow, and we had a real cold little snap. But in between the strawberry rows, we've got grass growing. What we'll do in the springtime between the rows, we will be able to mow. We'll have plenty of space to get between the rows and pick the berries and to mow and keep it nice and clean. But anyway, that's the strawberry beds is not what I wanted to talk to you about this morning. I wanted to tell you something that had happened here on the farm that was not fun at the moment, but now I can look back on it and kind of laugh just a little bit. Not a whole lot yet, but a little bit. I don't remember if I told you guys. I think it was probably over on my Facebook page, but there was Sunday evening I went out to sit on the porch before I went to evening services, and I like to do that sometimes just to kind of be quiet and reverent before I go. And there was this smell in the air, and it was familiar to me, but I couldn't just put my finger on what I was smelling. It wasn't a skunk, but my dogs were having a fit, and so I went out to make sure the dogs were okay and that our little piggies were okay. The chickens, everybody were in their enclosures and that they were nice and safe. And one of the reasons I did that is because our neighbor just lives right over around the curve from us, notified us that when he come home the other night, there was a bear getting into his garbage. So that has been in the back of my mind that there's a bear around here. And a few years back when Howie was still with us, he come home one day saying that he thought, he wasn't 100% sure, but he thought that he saw a bear running towards the creek. So anyway, that was my concern. I knew the smell, though, wasn't a bear because I've never smelled a bear. But there was something that was just a familiar aroma. It wasn't a nice fragrance. It wasn't like bread bacon or a pie or flowers or anything like that. It was a stinky odor. And so I sat there on my front porch, and I was there for a little bit, and here comes one of the neighbor guys from pretty good ways down the road, and behind him on a rope was an old shaggy goat, and that instantly I knew that's what I was smelling, was this goat. So the man stops, and he inquired if this was my goat. No, sir, it's not my goat, and I don't know anybody that lives on this road. There's just a few of us that live on this dirt road. It kind of loops around, and there's just a few that live on here, and there's not anybody to my knowledge that had a goat. So he went on towards the place that he's been staying at, and I heard him as he went out of the drive saying, "Don't you butt me." And then we didn't hear anything else. And on my way to church, I didn't see the goat, didn't see it on my way back. Of course, it was dark when I left church and came home. So I kind of forgot all about it. Now, this is Saturday morning that I'm telling you this story. And then on Thursday morning, my dogs were having a fit, carrying on, really barking aggressively, like something was really bothering them. You know, they'll bark at the cows, or they'll bark at if they see a coyote or something go across the field, they'll really bark. But it's not that stand on, their hackles up and really, but this time they were. So I knew there was something out in the yard. And as soon as I opened the door and went out, I knew what it was. It was that goat, and he was up here unattended. Now, he didn't belong to obviously to the people down the road. So I don't know if they just let him go and just let him go on his way or what. But from Sunday to Thursday, he was somewhere. So this goat, at first he was okay, and I, just kind of shoot him off, and the dogs kept barking, and so he ran down the road and took off and went around the corner and got out of sight. And I thought, well, we've chased him off. Maybe he'll go back to where he belongs. He's not in bad shape. He's fat, and he's ruddy, and he stinks, and he's doing all of his billy goat stuff. He stinks. And so, it was terrible. And so he went on his way, but about 20 minutes later, the dogs started in, and I opened the door, and there he was again. This time, though, he was more aggressive with my dogs. Now, my dogs are we keep them in the backyard. I have 2 cow dogs, Foxy and Sadie are, Foxy's part cow dog. Sadie is red heeler. And then Blade has a German short hair bird dog that he uses for duck hunting, and he's training. And so we didn't want this goat. We actually was worried that the dogs would hurt the goat, but the more the dogs barked and they were trying to protect their territory, and especially when I went outside, the dogs really got worked up, especially Foxy, because I'm his mom. I'm his dog mom. And then when Cheyenne went out, the other 2 dogs, Sadie and the bird dog, they're her dogs. And so they really got aggressive trying to protect us. So I know I'm dragging this story on, but I'm hoping it makes you smile. And so anyway, this goat, he started, the dogs, they were leaping at the fence. And the goat was butting the dogs in the nose. And, that just angered them more and more and more. So it went on, and trying to chase this dumb goat would come up on the front porch, and he would hit my front door. And I have a storm door on my front door, glass storm door. And he was hitting it and just carrying on, and just, you couldn't get the door open and shoo him off the front porch, because he tried to, especially me, he tried to get me. And I have never been scared of a goat in my life, but this particular goat is horrible. I don't know where he came from, but he has terrible manners. So it went on, and the dogs, Cheyenne was able to get off of the back porch and get in the backyard and open the door to let the 2 cow dogs out that are healers. And so they normally chase and heal cows that are much bigger than this goat. And so she let them out, and we tried to keep, we didn't want that goat to butt her, because she's pregnant, she's due in early January, and so we didn't want her to get hurt at all. And so we let the dogs out, and they chased him. And that dumb thing, ran up on our front porch. And the dogs, Foxy, if you've been with me very long, you know that he has a terrible back leg. He got hit by a car when he was little, and so he suffers with arthritis when the weather is damp or the weather is cool. And so he's already holding his back leg up. And I was afraid that the goat would hurt him. And Foxy was mad. And Sadie, she was more aggressive than Foxy was. And what they normally do when they're chasing cows, I don't know why, but Foxy always goes at the head, and Sadie goes for the heels. And so they were trying to work together to get this goat. But every time Sadie would come up the steps, the goat would butt her off the steps. And Foxy, he kind of held back, barking and being aggressive, but didn't run up the porch because of his leg. And so this just went on and on and on. And Cheyenne called Blade. He was working close by, and he said, "Well, I'll be there in a little bit." And he actually told Cheyenne to do some things to do. And we got, our local town has a soapbox, is what they call it. And so I posted on soapbox. Cheyenne posted on soapbox that it was somebody looking for their goat. And we didn't get any, people laughed and people commented, but it wasn't anyone's goat. And so Blade, the quickest thing that he could do was get his friend that he works with. He was running errands, and so he was the one that got to come to take care of the goat. But anyway, before he got there, the goat laid down in front of the door, and you couldn't get out. And Cheyenne was standing there looking at him, and while she was there standing, the goat was fine. He acted like he had not a care in the world. But as soon as I come around the corner, that goat jumped up and started stepping back and running and butting the door, and was trying to get to me. And I don't know, I forgot to tell you that I got after him on the back porch. I had a piece of PVC pipe. I didn't hit him or anything like that. I just tried to shoo him away, and he got after me on the back porch. I'm sure if anybody could see us, they were probably really laughing at it. And now I can smile and laugh and kind of laugh a little bit about it. And that's what's funny is I had just posted my thankful post for the month, and I talked about I was thankful for humor, and here humor comes along in a really funny package, stinky, smelly package. And so anyway, the goat got up and he started headbutting the front door, and so we shut the solid door because we were afraid. My storm door is glass, and we were afraid as he was hitting it hard. He wasn't just bumping it; he was hitting it hard, like going back and running and hitting it, putting his head down and hitting it, like you'd see in cartoons, or that goat that was on the Little House on the Prairie episode. He was like that. And so anyway, he just kept on and kept on until finally he broke my storm door. And I have a metal piece going through there, and he bent it all up, and he broke the glass. The glass itself didn't break, but the whole panel. You know how you have windows and they have the little things that you pull like this, you can pull it in and wash it. Well, that's what this screen door or this storm door was. And he pushed it through, and I thought, well, he just pushed it so I can fix it back. It's not too bad. The bent wire, that's bad, and the latch and all that kind of stuff is bad, but at least the glass didn't get broken. Well, so what happened was the glass, he didn't really break the glass, but my door has the little tabs that you can push in, and you can raise the door up and down, and on the top part it has these little metal pieces or some kind of material, and they are in that track and they go up and down. Well, he broke that. So I've got the glass panel in the door, and I've got it fit snug pretty tight. The window's not going to go up and down, but the door has to be replaced. I'm not going to file it on my insurance because the door's going to cost way less than what probably would make my insurance go up. And so I'm going to have to replace my door, but I live in a mobile home, so mobile home doors are most of the time special order. I did see that Lowe's have some, but they're way more expensive than what a regular door is, and so I've got to do that. That's fine. I mean, I'm not the most pleased about it, but that doesn't ruin my day. But anyway, I'm hoping Blade's friend came, and the goat come off the porch like he'd seen his long lost friend, went down there to him. He didn't pet him or anything, because when I tell you this goat stinks, he stinks. You can smell him for, I don't know, a long, long ways. And so he just got his lead around him like there was he just stood there and let him put the lead on him. And we put him in a secure place so he couldn't tear anything up. He couldn't eat anything. He tried to eat a trash bag and just all kinds of stuff. And so Cheyenne's been wanting goats, and she's changed her mind. She said, I think now after all of that, I don't want goats, but she's attracted to the cute little goats, and the cute little baby goats are cute. They're cute and sweet, but this guy was terrible, and I really don't know what he is. Our neighbors have goats. This isn't one of their goats. Our neighbors that live a couple miles away, or at least a mile and a half away, they have a petting zoo, but this isn't their goat. I wouldn't want to pet this goat either. But she said she thinks he is a Nigerian. I have no idea what he is, but he's not staying here. And so far, nobody has claimed him. So, you know, we've got some options. But what I wanted to, number one, make you laugh. I'm sure you're laughing at me because only here at Cedar Creek could this happen. And I hope you don't think that I make stories up, because they really do happen here. And this goat story is true. But what I wanted to talk to you about is your animals and securing them. Now, that's somebody's goat. He's fat, he's healthy, and somebody either decided they didn't want to mess with this stinky goat and turned him loose, or now that they know that there's property damage because it's on the town soapbox, they don't want to claim him. But I don't know what the deal is, but I was thinking about animals and our responsibilities, not just people that live on homesteads that have a lot of animals like what we do, but even people that have just a few animals, and maybe these people just had a couple of goats. Maybe they're gone on vacation and they don't know their goats out yet. I'm not mad at them, but I was thinking about our responsibility when you have animals to your neighbors. Now, I have cows, and my cows have gotten out before, and thankfully we've got good neighbors, and they've been patient with us. Our cows come home. We had to go get them, but they're easy to get back up, and we haven't had trouble in a long time since we got our water gap fixed. And those of you that don't know, that's when we get like flash floods when the spring rains or fall rains or summer rains. Whenever we get rain, enough of the rain that it flash floods, and this is fixed so that it'll raise, and the stuff that's washing down the creek can get through without tearing up the gates or the fences and letting the cows out on the other properties. And we've had trouble with that. We've had trouble with it with Howie. We've had trouble when Howie was with us. He worked on that water gap, and we finally have got it. But I will say it'll be tested because we haven't had a whole bunch of just big flooding rains in the last couple of years. You know, we've been, drier than normal. But anyway, thankfully we've got very good neighbors that are also farmers. Also ranchers, do things. Our neighbors' cows got out on us, a whole herd of them, and we tried to extend that same courtesy to them because they've extended it to us as well, and we want to be good neighbors. But the one of the quickest ways for you to lose a good neighbor is for your animals to get out and destroy something of theirs. If you live by somebody that's got crops or got flowers or just have pretty things in their yard, a cow can step on something and crush it. A bull can be dangerous if it gets out. Pigs, I have pigs, and even your chickens can get out and get in someone's garden and peck their tomatoes or whatever. And so you really need to take these things into consideration when you want animals, is to make sure that you have fencing and that you have places for these animals to go, that they can't just roam around, and you can't just tie something to a tree and expect it to stay there, and that's not good. Even your dogs and your cats, any animal that you have, you want to make sure that you keep it on your property. And that's the best thing about being a good neighbor, is having your fencing, having your infrastructure, your things in place that your animals don't cause havoc to others, harm their stuff, break their stuff, and those kind of things. It's always a good idea to know how many of each animal you have. Put your eyeball on them and see if they're out there, because sometimes something can get away. Just like this little goat, he belongs to somebody, but nobody's claimed him yet. Howie loved his cows, and he had one cow in particular, and I've told this story before. Her name was Rubberhorn, and I don't know what the problem was. She had two horns, but one of her horns was floppy, and something with the tissue and bone structure and stuff up here, that horn would just go like that. And so Howie called her Rubberhorn. and he loved her. And but she was so ornery. She wasn't mean as far as trying to get people, but she wouldn't stay in the pen. If she thought the grass was greener on the other side, she was getting out. And so he finally got tired of going and putting Rubber Horn back in the pen. And usually they were right around here. Close. She was right around here close. And some of Howie's family lives next in the next house over, and his aunt, she lives on further down the road. And so they would they were patient with him. But, other places, the people might not have been so patient. And so he finally decided to sell her. And his rule was, if they don't stay in, they don't get to stay. I had to make a decision this year to let a cow go. She was a beautiful cow. Her name was Patsy. You might have seen her on a video before. She's just beautiful and had beautiful big calves. But she was a lead cow, and she would jump the fences and tear the fences down, and then all the cows would get out. All our pastures are cross-fenced, and so that we can rotate them through to different pastures when we had the big herd. Now I have 10 cows and a bull left and a steer, and so they're staying up close by the house. But when I had a bigger herd, she would break the fences down, actually break the barbed wire fence. And then I would have cows all over creation, not on other people's places, but all over my farm in different pastures. And you'd have to go try to round everybody up, and it was just a mess. So Blake said, Mama, I'm not going to deal with her. And I knew that I wasn't able to deal with her myself. And so I've made the decisions to cut back on my herd. Like I said, I've got this smaller herd now, and I've caught some flack for it for downsizing, because people have said, well, that's all Howie wanted was a big herd, and I understand that. I understand that is what Howie wanted, and we wanted that together. But I know that he wouldn't be upset now if I had to go downsize the herd because of what I was able to take care of. And so that decision was made, and like I said, it's cost a little bit of flack, but we'll be okay with that. But anyway, we just tried not to have things that just consistently get out. Now, after he passed, Howie passed away, I decided that I wanted some little things that I could nurture and take care of. The kids, Blade was off working, and so they weren't here. They just had little Howie. So they weren't here. I was here by myself, and so I've got a bottle calf, and at that same sale that I got the bottle calf, I decided that I might want to get these little goats that come through. So I got these 2 nanny goats, and one of them had a baby with her, which I think, hindsight, it wasn't her kid. But I had those goats, and they got out. And my brother-in-law ended up hurting his shoulder trying to help me herd them back. It was hot summertime. And so I had the goats for 1 week. And I took the goats back to the sale because I couldn't risk them getting hurt. And I knew that there wouldn't always be a time that they would be there to help me. Although, there for a while, they were available. They were there to help after losing Howie. But I knew that wasn't always going to be their responsibility to take care of me like that. And so, needless to say, we carted them back to the sale. But just know that you need to have good fences. Good fences make good neighbors. So I wanted to get on here, tell you a little story, possibly make you laugh just a little bit. I can laugh now, mostly. And just to remind you to make sure that if you have the responsibility of animals, if they're outside, to make sure that your fencing and your containment areas and all the things that you have for your animals are strong enough for them. Now, I have a bull running on my property, so of course I want to make sure that my bull stays in, not only for his protection, but so that he doesn't get out and cause cause an accident. We've got a train that runs through close, and a long time ago, some of Howie's dad's cows got hit by the train. And so we just need to be thoughtful of those around us. Of course, we want to enjoy our animals and have what animals we want, but we also need to take responsibility and make sure that our animals aren't bothering those around us. So I hope you guys have a good Saturday. I've got a busy day. Got to get in there, work my strawberries a little bit, do my farm chores, and then I got to get in there and get cooking for tomorrow. I got to make homemade dinner rolls and cooking ham and doing some of the sides for our church Thanksgiving dinner. So until next time, guys, this is Josie. I love you guys. I really do. Keep looking well to the ways of your household. And until next time, we're gone.